Colonel Bob, you're with Glad Rap Channel. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Actually, an honor to talk to you. Jeff Finich. He mentioned that the game plan was to go for the KO against Parker. Now, is that the wrong game plan, going against somebody with the caliber and talent as Parker? I mean, isn't that exactly what Joe wants? Wants a fighter to come forward instead of, chasing an opponent? I mean...
Well, yeah, he likes to fight. But Jeff Fenech, you got to remember, he's a 4-divisional world champion. He's a Hall of Famer. He knows he trained the likes of Mike Tyson. He's got a great background in training fighters, and I think that he thinks that it'd be very difficult for his fighter to outbox Joseph Parker. So therefore, attacking him in the early going and try to drag Joseph into a brawl early is what his thinking is, and that's his best shot to win the fight, as opposed to having a 12-round boxing match, which I think favors Joseph with the fast hands. Joseph has got to maintain his discipline, but he's a fighter, so the situation is such
tempting,
that
right?
Yeah, it is very tempting for a fighter who, when you get hit, he's going to want to hit you, but he's got to maintain his discipline. He's got to get his angles. He's got to establish a jab. You learned that from Larry Holmes. Larry spent a lot of time about him, and they've worked
about
the jab. Holmes had one of the best jabs in the history of boxing, and Joseph spent time with him and talked to him about the jab and how important that is. And of course, Joseph has a great trainer in Kevin Barry, and Kevin has trained some terrific fighters, world champions, and he knows what he's doing in there too. So no, they don't want to engage early, I don't think. I think that Joseph will try things with his jab, his hooks, his right hand, feel him out early, keep his distance, and he's got to maintain his cool, because this guy Bowie can bang. I'll tell you, he can really.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what he did with the right overhand. Who did he knock down?
He knocked down several guys, but Brian Jennings.
Yeah, Brian Jennings, that's the one. Yeah, third round, I think.
Yeah, he dropped.
That was the clean over right hand.
Yeah,
right
and he wasn't credited with that. The referee called it a slip, but it wasn't a slip. It was he hit him with a clean shot, and it was a knockdown. And he has that kind of power. And the thing about Joseph is, now Joseph has never fought a guy with this kind of record. I mean, he's got 17 knockouts. Joseph's only had 14 fights.
That's exactly what Bass said.
And Fenech's aware of that, and so is Bowie. So his thing is going to be to try to knock him out. But everybody knows that he has a great overhand right. So watch in the fight for left hooks to the body, and other than he's going to establish his jab too, and because everything comes off the jab. And in that area, if they get to boxing a little bit, I think that favors Joseph, because he's got the faster hands, and his jab is a punch. So
do you kind of doubt that there would be, Joseph would exchange fire with fire in the opening rounds, or would he sort of go for the box?
He will exchange because, like I said, he's a fighter, and when fighters get hit, they want to fight. It's the nature of the fighters, and that's what makes them fighters. They're different from other athletes. But he's got to, as he continues to progress, he's got to continue to maintain his equanimity throughout the course of the fight, so that he can control. They call it ring generalship in boxing, and that's what he has to do.
Because we have seen Joseph rock. On maybe a couple occasions, like with Nascimento. I think he burst his eardrum, and he sort of lost his equilibrium. Watching the fight, you were just sort of hesitating, like what's gonna actually happen. If Bowie does catch him with a proper right hand, do you think that could potentially put Joe? Has his chin been tested? Do you think he can handle it, or do you think he can handle that
we
pressure?
Don't know, because he's never been hit with a guy this size and in this prime in his career. Against Williams and against Francois Boda, who are experienced fighters and decent punchers, and Saglam the last time that he fought. These are decent punchers, but not in the caliber of Bowie Tupo. Topo, he is really a heavy puncher. Look at the way he's built. He trained for this fight. He's lost 25, 30 kilos to get ready for this fight, and his body looks trimmer than I've seen in a long time. He had great sparring with over
Lucas
in
Brown,
Australia
I
with
think.
Lucas Brown,
Yeah.
and Kelly Meehan.
Kelly Meehan, yeah.
So he's ready for this fight. He knows what he has to do. And remember, for him, this is the fight of his life, because if he can win this fight and upset an undefeated fighter
propel
like,
him.
yeah, it'll put him right in the top 10, and he'd be the type of fighter that a champion like Deontay Wilder would take a chance with.
Okay,
You
I see what you
understand?
mean. Yeah, definitely.
and that becomes a big money fight for him to fight for the championship of the world. Klitschko would go after him as well. Klitschko just signed a 6-fight deal with the German television, so he's going to be looking for opponents.
Yeah,
and
I
this
heard
would
Tyson
be
Fury talk about
this
that,
would
yeah.
be a worthy opponent. And Klitschko knows Joseph. Joseph's been in his camp, and if this guy upset Joseph. For Joseph, on the other hand, if he loses the fight, it's not the end of the world. You know, it would set him back.
Is it? I mean,
No, it's
could-
not the end of the world. Not at this stage. Look at all the great fighters.
You know what I mean? Because there's so much, attention right now pointed at him. Like, if he loses, I mean, do you think he could lose that sort of momentum and, the
Yeah,
backing?
he'll lose momentum. Every guy, when he loses momentum. But it's not the end of the world for him. He's still only 23.
Yeah, I keep
and-
forgetting his. Yeah,
You know,
he looks
guys
young.
like Larry Holmes lost fights. Muhammad Ali lost fights. Joe Frazier lost fights. These are some of the greatest champions of all time.
Mike
And they didn't
Tyson.
lose them this early in their career, and it would set Joseph back, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. For Bowie Tupou, I think it's more important for him to win this fight in many ways, and I think he knows that. So with that said, it's going to be all desperation for him.
So do you think someone's getting knocked out tomorrow?
Yes, I do. I don't think this fight will go the distance.
That's what we came to see, huh?
That's it. Everybody wants to see the heavyweight division because the knockout is imminent, and one way or the other, I think somebody goes tomorrow night.
Just